Technology is beautiful.
Hmm. Well, I'm trying to convert really old CDs to MP4s,
Okay.
so that's why it's struggling.
Okay. Yep, that'll do it.
Hmm.
My computer, I just look at it and wink at it, and it's just like it struggles right there. It's like I'm done.
That's funny.
Okay. So we are doing a mediumship reading today, yes?
Yep.
Okay. And from what I remember, there is a specific spirit person that you want to connect with. But I am going to give the disclaimer again that I can't make
Yep.
any guarantees. I am really not in the driver's seat of
Yep.
any of this.
Hmm.
It's just the way spirit works.
Yep.
But I will absolutely do my best.
Sure.
Um, and again, I also have to. I'm an empath, so I kind of have to balance like the way I'm feeling because I normally get a lot of physical feelings,
Right.
and it just feels like there was a lot of really shitty feelings. Um,
Yep.
so I'm just going to kind of go over how all of this works for me.
Okay.
So when we transition from our physical bodies, what that means is that we also lose our voice box in the process.
Yeah.
When spirit communicates, they communicate in a way that is different than we communicate, and actually, it's much bigger
Hmm.
than the way we communicate.
Hmm.
Um, so when spirit is communicating with us or with me, they give me a lot of sensations within my body.
Okay.
Um, and they are going to give me smells, give me tastes, give me emotions,
Hmm.
um, give me a word, give me a smell. They give me a little bit of everything, and they mash it
Right.
all together.
Hmm.
And I need to try to make it make sense for you. Do you understand?
Yep.
Okay. Um, then what anyone you've had contact with in this lifetime can step forward during a mediumship reading. Makes sense?
Yep.
Um, Sometimes people that are connected to you that are here, like your friends and family that are here, sometimes their loved ones step forward during a mediumship reading because they
Hmm.
try to sneak a message in for their people. Make sense?
Right. Yep.
Okay. Do you have any questions before we start?
No, I've seen like Matt Frazier and Teresa Caputo and all that stuff. So
Okay. And just realize when we're watching Matt Frazier, Teresa Caputo, Tyler
mhm.
Henry, all of
Yeah.
that's been edited for TV. So
Oh,
you're
yeah.
getting all the big yes, yes. It really is a pop quiz.
I know. I've seen him live, so
Yeah.
it wasn't as
Okay.
great live. So yeah, I get it.
Okay. So hopefully we have a really wonderful experience today. But again, within 10, I normally do within 10 minutes sort of a thing.
Yeah.
We can always call it a day.
Sure.
So let me just tune in here. So it feels as though, and I'm not getting, so my mediumship's kind of changed a little bit.
Hmm.
So I'm not getting a picture necessarily of who I'm talking to right away.
Hmm.
But I do want to talk about someone that would have had a lot of, I would want to say this feels like a more unexpected passing is the way that I would want to place this.
Hmm.
Um, and I would want to talk about this as it's unexpected, but at the same time, also not instant. It feels as though this passing, there would have been something that would have happened, and it feels as though the passing would have happened a little time after that. Would you be able to understand that for somebody that you know?
Sort of. Yes.
Okay. So I'm just trying to feel into my body because it's there's a lot of I'm feeling a lot of tingling in my hands and in my feet. So it feels as though oxygen, being able to take in oxygen would have been an issue, but also just being able to lift the hands or the arms as though there would have been body weakness towards the latter part of life. Would you be able to understand that?
Yeah.
Would you also be able to understand I'm going to say it going back into my throat. So again, we're going to be talking about lack of oxygen because I'm feeling like some pressure on my. So we're just wanting to emphasize that a little bit and a little bit of coolness on my body. So either I get this in like two ways. Either they just weren't able to control their temperature, or they were actually physically cold or in a cold environment before passing. But either way, normally when I feel coldness, it's one or the other. They don't distinguish between the two. Would you be able to understand that? Okay.
Yeah.
Would you be able to understand a lack of awareness approaching passing?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just try to and when I'm saying lack of awareness with this one feels a little bit different because it almost feels as though we're physically incapacitated, not able to speak or communicate verbally, but it almost feels as though there was periods of awareness. I'm not sure if we would have gotten like some hand squeezes or there would have been something where maybe we thought we could hear or understand periodically before pass. Would you be able to understand that?
You kind of broke up there. So you
Okay.
said you couldn't speak?
Yeah, it feels as though like we're not communicating, but it feels as though there would have been the sensation I'm being given is like, when you're partially asleep
Mm-hmm.
and you can sort of hear what's going on around you,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not really communicating. I mean, it's kind of like a dreamy sort of state. Would you be able to understand where maybe the verbal communication wasn't there, but we would have kind of thought we saw a hand move or a head move or something along those lines where we thought maybe we're understanding or hearing what's going on?
You're talking about how he felt, right?
Yes.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so let me just, his head hurts. Um, I'm going to try to push him away from this part. It feels as though the passing itself would have, he would not have been ready for it. And it just feels as though it would have looked very difficult. And he's kind of stuck here right now. So let me just see if I can move him along. But what I think maybe I'm not explaining is while it feels a little uncomfortable, or the feelings he's giving me is a little uncomfortable, it doesn't feel like pain. And it just feels like a little bit of unreadiness, but it doesn't feel like massive distress. So that it feels like that's the important takeaway from this aspect, where it doesn't feel like immense suffering,
Mm-hmm.
which is something that a lot of people carry with them is
Yeah.
these last moments. And it feels as though he, as an adult, you understood what was, you kind of understood what was happening. And he makes me feel as though he was told that he can go into the light. So he makes me feel as though someone that was with him told him told him go to grandma or go to the light or something like that. So he makes me feel as though someone that was with him towards the end of his life actually gave him permission or kind of told him that he is able to cross. Would you be able to understand that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just typing it down as you speak.
Okay. And just remember, I have this recording and I'm going to send it to you after.
Perfect.
Okay. And again, he is showing me an old woman. So it does make me feel as though there were grandparents or great grandparents that did come to greet him when he crossed, as well as he keeps showing me like a mid-toned dog, mid-sized dog that would have also arrived. So somebody's childhood pet would have greeted him on the other side too. So not alone. It's almost like he crossed and came back before he crossed again. So okay. Because he's showing me that scene and he's telling me the brightness of the colors, the vividness of what everything looked like, and then he's being brought back into the space. And it's like he's understanding whatever took him, like they're. I really want to call it accident, but he's not showing me yet. But he's just making me feel as though it was kind of like a no hope situation for him, where there really wasn't a chance for him or survival, although everyone tried. So there is a realization that that there was no turning around and that there was no positive resolution for him. And he makes me feel as though it's like on the outside, part of what's going on with him kind of looked like an easy fix, or it should be something that we should know how to fix or should be easier to fix. And he makes me feel as though you still hold some resentment around that this should be an easy fix now, and it's not. And we're pissed off, not at the doctors, not at him, not at yourself, but you're pissed off just at the situation because this should have been solvable.
Yeah.
And he's like holding, he's like putting a jacket or something in your hand, like you're ready. Like, I don't know if it was his jacket before or like you were just ready to take him home or you brought stuff for him. Like he's okay. And not just a jacket, like mittens and stuff. Like, so you had like other stuff and you were thinking of like, do I go home and get him pajamas? So just know that all he also says that you he took a cloth and you washed his face and around his hair. So he makes me feel as though there was not just your hand, but it feels as though we're like cleaning him or wiping him. Would you be able to understand that?
I didn't know.
Okay. Were you there in the room when someone did?
No.
Okay. He keeps showing someone like it's almost like washing around his hair line.
Mm-hmm.
Come here. It's like this. We're really stuck in this spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I want to say like time stood still because
Yeah.
it feels as though it really was in our linear terms a very short period of time, but
Yeah.
it feels as though it never fucking ended on your side.
Yeah.
And not in a good way. Like you want to remember these last moments, but at the same time it was like a dungeon where we knew the next step, we knew what was about to happen, and it feels as though like so emotionally charged but also emotionally devoid at the same time because it was so overwhelming.
Yeah.
um, and he makes me feel as though you felt his soul with you before he crossed or at the point of crossing.
Yeah.
Because he shows me like you standing there and him taking your hand, and it's like there's no one, it's like spirit person, so you would have felt his soul crossing.
Mm-hmm.
um, and he talks about you didn't leave for again what feels like a really long time after his crossing,
Mm-hmm.
because he shows me crying on the floor, he shows me crying on a chair, he shows me just
Mm-hmm.
incredibly emotional. um, and at the same time he makes me feel as though you're alone in your grief,
Mm-hmm.
like because he's not showing me anyone around you, he's just showing me like you crying by himself. Would you be able to understand that?
Yeah.
um, and you not knowing who to call is the other thing.
Yeah.
He says,
Ghostbusters.
yeah, he was like he's like showing me like I don't know who to call, like you know in your head who you need to call, but you
Yeah.
also don't know who to call or what
In
to
that
do.
moment, yeah,
um,
no.
and he's just he says that he's so sorry, he's like so sorry for stealing your heart. um, and he's I think this is metaphorical because he's showing me like a blue construction paper heart and he's like tearing it up. um,
Blue, eh? That's funny.
yeah. um, he says that you were the best mom because you always took the time to watch him play.
Mm-hmm.
um, and he's actually making me feel very emotional right now. I hate crying and my eyes are tearing up. So
He was a big sucky poo. That one.
okay.
Yeah.
So in his nature,
Yes.
he is showing me.
Yeah.
Um, and he's honest to God, he's so sorry. He's so sorry for leaving you. And
Mhm.
I hate crying and I'm not emotional. And he is
He's making you do it.
he is making me do it. And nobody's made me do it in months actually. So
That's funny.
this is really exciting. Um, he makes me feel like he's showing me a dinosaur as well.
Oh.
It's like a toy, but
Mm.
he makes me feel as though this is very much like best friend energy between the
Mhm.
two of you, as
Yeah.
best friend as it could have. Um,
Yeah.
he makes me feel as though, you know, all the things you would do for girl time, except with a boy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So
He was the boy version of me. Let's just put it that way.
okay, and that's why I guess he wants to show it like this is like everything you would do with a girl, but this is a boy.
Together. Yeah.
And it's like it is like everything. It's like snuggling and watching TV and like
Yep.
eating snacks. And he really liked eating snacks.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you have the pajama time, right? Like we would get into our jammies. We would
Yeah.
like eat cereals together and you
Mm-hmm.
know, like he tried to look after you. He makes me
Aw.
feel as though, you know, like sometimes he would try to like open a door or try to be like, you know,
Yeah.
like a big tough man for you, um, but in the cutest of all ways. And he makes me feel as though this is not growing up too fast. Like we're a
Mm-hmm.
little like we're little and we're little. Like it
Yeah.
just feels as though and he's kind of he was at a stage in his life where that um, you know, kind of when you understand what you look like and what you're capable of.
Yeah.
Well, he's before that period of understanding
That's funny.
what he really like. At least that's the way he explains it. He is explaining as a like he's not showing me what he looks like, but the energy feels like a young child. Like he just feels small and cute and adorable, right? Like it's
He probably maintained that
like
growing up.
that's like that's the vibe. It's just like, you know, mommy and
He
me
always
kind of
he kept
a
that
vibe.
that innocence,
Okay.
but he was a young adult.
That's fine because it's just that
He
he's
never
not like
became like angry, or resentful or forming groups and rejecting others. He never did any of that negative stuff. He was just always like a kid at heart and
and the
always
moment
sweet.
and the moment I got with you, he just turned into baby boy,
Hmm.
and that was it. Like he just
First baby boy, yeah.
he, he rejected all of that, but it feels like complete personality shift when he's with you. It's just that cuteness. He makes me feel. I was seeing this earlier. Would you understand that he played some sports or was interested in sports when he was younger?
He did boxing.
Okay. Um, just because I kept seeing like a baseball picture, so I'm like, okay, he played some sort of a sport or something
Hmm.
that he wanted to reference. Okay, so let me get back in here. Come on. What led you up to this? So I'm asking him what led him again to his point of crossing.
Hmm.
And he just makes me feel as though Like he just says, I don't know. Like he just makes me feel as though he was blindsided by a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not able to like it just feels like I'm here now and now like I'm not understanding what's happening. So it's kind of like a very fast scenario for
Mm-hmm.
him where he wasn't able to process really what was going on, or he doesn't want to admit to it, either or. But it just feels as though like it's like a light switch where we're blindsided
Yeah.
um, by the scenario. We didn't
We
really
all were.
understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
So
all
yeah,
were.
he didn't understand what happened. It happened really quick and it just wasn't able to process it.
Mm-hmm.
So when he talks about it, he brings it to my awareness as he calls it accident,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the only way that I would be able to explain it or understand it. But he can't lead to one, two, three. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm not going to push that anymore because it doesn't feel as though it doesn't feel as though he could have prevented it, and it feels as though like um, we had plans later in the evening. Like he had like later
Yeah.
on today, I need to be here, and that's what I want to do. So it feels as though
Yeah.
um, and he makes me feel as though it's like it's like the way he talks about. So this is all symbolic. So it's like he's showing me
Mm-hmm.
like talking to you, and then like hour, 2 hours, and then all of this happens. So it doesn't feel as though it's like he had spoken to you, and then it just feels as though like a very little time had passed, and then
Yep.
all of this went down, and it feels as though it happened, and then we lose awareness, and that was it. Like it just feels as though
Yeah.
he feels as though it's honestly like a freak accident. You know, like when people like toboggan or something and then they fall and they hit their heads, like that sort of
Yeah.
like freakiness to it.
Yeah.
Um, and he makes me feel as though he had spoken to or been with like two, three really good friends um, beforehand.
Yep.
Um, and and again, it's like just just typical kids.
Yeah.
Um, like he's the way he shows them to me, like I would let my daughter go out and hang out with them. Like they're just
Yeah.
normal, good human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Normal. We're in Peterborough, man. Like
Yeah. I lived in Peterborough.
so
Well, Lindsay. Yeah. I know.
yes. So I'm phrasing it like these are normal ones. These are not like the problematic kids that we're seeing here.
No,
Uh,
he was a good guy.
and his friends were good. And he makes me feel as though there was a female um, around as well because he's showing me some like a younger female too. So I don't know if they had talked on or he just wants to reference a girlfriend, but he's
Mm.
showing me a younger female too. Um,
He had a girlfriend.
and okay, and I'm just asking them. They had no idea what to do Um, it feels like there's some guilt surrounding his passing on their side, because it feels like had we done X,
Mm-hmm.
Y, Z, this wouldn't have happened, or maybe we could have turned it around. Really important. He's showing me the blind side again. He makes me feel as though there was nothing further that they could do.
Yeah.
Right. So they're holding it like if I didn't hesitate, if I didn't pause, if I didn't panic, or if like we had done this or followed our gut there, like this
Are you
was
talking
happening.
about his girlfriend
Who
or everybody?
I think it's everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The girlfriend has directional anger. So she is mad at a specific person for causing this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels as though he makes me feel as though she's like pissed at somebody more specifically, because had that person done this, that, or the other, then this wouldn't have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's worried about her because it feels as though um, she doesn't know how to channel her grief very well.
Yeah.
So it feels like we're self-medicating because we don't necessarily know how to handle what's going on. And
Mm-hmm.
it feels as though talking with people that we wouldn't have hung out with before, again, because
Yeah.
disharmony likes disharmony. So he makes me feel as though she's kind of um, gone down a flushing toilet um, since his passing.
Mm-hmm.
And which is too bad because she had so many aspirations and she was pretty smart.
Yeah.
It's like she wanted to be in like the medical field or something before, and now it's kind of like she doesn't know what she wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Um, let's see here. He's making me feel as though the home is turned into um, a little bit of a shrine for him.
Mm-hmm.
Not a specific spot, the home. It makes me
That
feel
is
as
funny.
the home.
Well, we brought all of his stuff here and needed somewhere to put it, so it's on the wall, on shelves.
Because he's even saying like this isn't just like modern stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, look, my mom put a picture that I drew when I was a kid up on the wall by the fridge.
I do have his pictures. My mom does too. Yeah.
And he makes me feel as though you still wear and carry his things.
Yeah, I do.
So he like puts on like a jersey onto you, and then also some sort of a trinket that you like carry or put in your pocket. So he makes me feel as though perfect.
It's his ring and his
Um,
earring here, which I would never ever wear anything like that. Ever. But it's there.
oh my god.
Yeah.
He makes me feel as though like God, like even his socks, like you've kept.
I have his socks because he kept sewing them up. So they were important.
Okay.
They were a pair that my dad gave him. Not made out of wool, some other material anyways, and they're hard to find. So he kept sewing them up. So I have them. They're in my closet. I even wore them once when I was fishing
Uh-huh.
because they're warm.
Yeah. So he knows about all of this.
Yeah, of course he does.
It's like you've made your closet has just expanded of all the clothes that you can wear.
Yeah.
He even says like there's some pair of slippers, like they're really ugly slippers, um, that are there. You know, like
I
old
have his
moccasins.
boots. I
Okay.
have
Are
his
they?
disgusting old boots. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And they're
They're
just
in the
worn and
closet.
beaten and
Yeah.
okay.
They just sit there.
Okay. So he is very much aware of all of this. He is talking about a tattoo. So he wants to talk about a tattoo that is either has already happened or we're thinking about
Hmm.
getting done in his honor.
Okay.
Okay. Um, he makes me feel as though there's more than one person that either has already gotten a memorial tattoo in his honor or has considered or is currently considering artwork or whatever
I
else
did
in
I did
his
one a
honor.
while ago. I don't know about anyone else, but I have one
Okay.
that's in memory of him, yeah.
Um, he talks about that we still go. It feels like we still mark his birthday.
Yep,
Um,
we do.
and it's on and off with cake. Like sometimes you buy him a cake and sometimes you don't. Makes sense.
He got a cake
Okay.
and his little brother ate it.
Beautiful. Um, let me see what he. And so I'm just asking about his little brother. His little. His brother's still in shock about his passing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's. Um, he's not taking it very well at all. Like grief is very difficult for him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he makes me feel as though his brother talks to him all the time,
Probably.
all the time, um, and like constantly asking for signs,
Yeah.
um, and writes and draws just
Mhm.
different. Like he just shows me scribbling in a book, and I can't like it's different things that we're scribbling in the book. It feels like drawings and everything else.
Mhm.
Um, and it's hard for the little brother because the little brother has some almost feels like anxiety issues to begin with, like even before this happened. Like we had some
Yep.
anxiety, so this is anxiety, possibly like we might almost like borderline depression
Yeah.
type of stuff going on there.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so this is because he's also showing me like taking more anxiety medications or something since his passing. So that's kind of um, come up a little bit more for him. And he is worried about his little brother because he knows he didn't like taking those medications because they're not really, like, they're a little harder on his body.
Mm,
So he's like, he doesn't feel so good taking them, but he's taking them. I'm worried about his guts because
right.
he didn't like it. Um, and your younger son still draws on himself sometimes.
Probably.
Okay.
With food, with markers, with anything. Dirt.
Oh, good, good. Because he was first showing me like him like hunched over and like drawing on his foot, and
Mm.
I'm like, oh, that's fun. And then like on his arm, and I'm like, okay. So he sees that.
Mm-hmm.
What? Um, and he makes me feel as though his little brother has, previous to his passing, um, he was like one of those kids that was like, I see dead people, sort of a deal. Um, because he makes me feel as though he um, had seen or sensed someone in the past that he would have like talked about or made mention to, because it feels also like a scared of the closet sort of deal. So there wouldn't have been very much understanding in terms of what was happening. Would you be able to understand that?
Yeah, we just watched a video of him as a baby looking in the bathroom. There's nothing there, and then taking off
Yeah.
in the other direction. And now that I have more experience with this, I'm like, he saw something right there.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I was just laughing because he's just a baby, right?
Yeah. Okay. So
He has to sleep with his lights on still, and he's 9.
I'm I'm in my 40s, and let me tell you,
Me
there are
too.
times when my partner leaves.
Turn the lights on.
Oh yeah, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's a good day. I have smudged correctly when I can sleep with the lights out and he's not here.
Yeah, definitely.
Hunting is the hardest 2 weeks of the
Yeah,
year.
you got to go with him.
No, no, I couldn't. And that's the thing is I couldn't, and I can't handle certain smells. Just
Yeah,
can't.
it
Um,
doesn't smell good. That's for sure.
no, no. And I mean, I've done taxidermy, right? So like,
Mm, yeah, you know.
yeah, yeah.
See,
So yeah.
my hubby hunts too. He doesn't hunt anymore, but he did for a long time. Not
Let's
something
see
I
what
can do. I can fish, but not kill animals.
I used to be able to kill the rabbits that broke into my fenced vegetable garden, because
Mm,
if I
yeah.
can't keep you out and I've done my best and you're eating everything, no.
Yeah.
Um, now I'm angry. But innocent animals walking by, I can't. Like
No, me neither.
I want to I want to pat the deer, not shoot the deer.
Yeah.
Like
They
that's
have
it.
feelings too. They have souls, it's just, yeah.
They do. I want to ride the moose. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't even want to eat it.
You don't really
Let's
need to
see.
kill them.
No. Let's see here. He talks about um, He's concerned about your relationship actually with hubby,
What?
because
My
he's
relationship?
concerned about, yeah, with hubby, because he makes me feel as though since passing, we've we're grieving in our own separate ways. It
Mm-hmm.
feels as though we've put a little bit of air between us.
Mm-hmm.
It feels as though like the bedtime schedule, like everything is messed up. And while that's pretty normal, he's just concerned about the distance being to feel too great at some point. Not like right now, but at some point.
The
Um,
distance to what? You broke up.
between the distance between you and your husband, like the emotional distance,
Right.
he's concerned that one day we just might get used to it, or we might not um,
Mm-hmm.
care for each other's company. So it's like him urging you to kind of like grieve at least physically closer together, or try to just be a little bit more physically closer together. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because you guys used to be so good at annoying the hell out of each other and joking around.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like it's like a great like it's a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and your son saying how he really he it feels like his relationship with his dad was complicated in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like they could joke around and have fun. It feels like there's some ribbing going on between them, some
Mm-hmm.
lightheartedness. But at the same time, uh, dad is a lot rougher of a personality than he is.
Mm-hmm.
So he makes me feel as though that um, that sometimes could become difficult for your son, was just the interaction with like um, a little bit more of I'm gonna call him gruffer, tougher, rough, and more like
Mm-hmm.
uh, different kind of personality. Would you be able to understand that?
Yeah, I had a dad and a stepdad, so more towards his stepdad.
Okay. Um, but it also feels like stepdad, it feels like it was like he completely accepted him. Like he understands, completely accepted, and it felt like a father son relationship. Like he makes me feel as though there was like a lot of love
Mm-hmm.
um, between them,
Yeah.
even though it's not like the biology wasn't there, but it feels as though the relationship was there, even though it sometimes looked a little awkward
Yeah.
um, between him and his. And he just makes me feel as though he was a lot more emotionally distant with his biological father. Like he just
Mm-hmm.
he'll play the part of the good son, but it feels as though like emotionally there wasn't that connection. The emotional connection was between
Yeah.
him and his stepdad. Um, that's where the love and everything is. And he makes me feel as though stepdad is stepdad's doing things privately to honor your son. It feels as though he's doing his own little things and still talking about him. And he makes me feel as though stepdad is aware of spirit, which is actually really cool. That he's not someone that denies that spirit. He believes in ghosts and that sort of thing. He makes me feel that he talks about this month, August, as having significance, but he also talks about June as having significance to him. Would you be able to understand that?
Last June or any June?
Just June, like he just says June is having an importance to him.
His dad's birthday's in June. That's all I can think of. His birthday's in July.
Would you also understand an importance in May?
His dad died in May.
Okay. Would you understand a significance in April as well?
April. Actually, in May, I think he hurt himself in May at work, where a large piece of equipment slammed into his chest. And this is where it started.
Okay.
Yeah. He was getting severe muscle spasms. They wouldn't stop, and it made it hard for him to breathe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He kept going to the doctor, and they couldn't do anything for those muscle spasms. So he got painkillers, Tramacets, and naproxen. The problem is he was drinking as well with his work buddies a lot and taking those at the same time. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Okay.
It is a no shit. Oops.
Hmm.
One of those preventable, shouldn't have happened type things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also none of those things he would even think about or consider.
No, he was invincible, right? Nothing's gonna
That's that
happen to me.
age.
I'm only 23. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Okay. And I guess that's why he's saying blindsided by it. Because he's invincible. He was invincible.
Yeah. So I can give you a little bit more because you're almost at your time slot. Maybe it was in July or maybe it was June, actually. He went hiking in the mountains and a 300-pound boulder fell on his foot. So he was wearing steel-toe boots, but again, he needed painkillers. So he got a second dose of painkillers, and he was still drinking. So he died on Christmas Day, 2023. And it was severe liver disease. Severe cirrhosis of the liver was the cause. From the painkillers and the alcohol, it just sped that right up on him. So yeah, blindsided.
And that's all.
he thought he had more time, right? Like he was drinking too
That's
much.
right.
When we saw him, we gave him, you know, a road to get off that because he was going the wrong way, like drinking too much. And yeah, we had no idea like 2 weeks later he would die. That was just crazy. No idea. Because we didn't know about the painkillers until we found them in his apartment. And his best friend told us that he was mixing them with the alcohol, like just because he didn't think anything would happen to him. Plus, he needed the painkillers and he was sort of getting a dependency on the alcohol just from doing it around his work buddies for it only took 19, 20, 21. It only took a couple years to develop that dependency because they were drinking it at work too and bringing it to work for him, even his boss. Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
So it was one of those situations you could not prevent it because it just, the way it all happened
Yeah.
was sort of, seems like it was meant to be for whatever reason. That was his time. He kept telling me that it's my time. After he died, I spoke to a medium and they kept saying that. He keeps saying it was his time, his time, his time. And you're like, what do you mean it's his time? He's only 23. What are you talking about? It's his time. Yeah. But that's what happened.
Yeah. Okay. You know, wow. Because cirrhosis of the liver, that is,
Insane.
I mean, people will drink for 10, 20 years as
Correct.
alcoholics.
That's why he said, I've got more time because he left here. And I said, and he asked me, you know, like, what do you think of my drinking level? And I'm like, you're getting on the severe side. It's time to like go to AA, start boxing again, take vitamins, take medication if you have to, whatever it takes. And he didn't have time. Should have had time. Didn't have time. So yeah, that's. But yeah, when he died, it was Christmas Day, so we had the morning and everything felt normal, but he was supposed to show up to do a Zoom and he didn't show up. So I got a vision of him dead in his sleep. I just sent you a picture of him. I don't know if you can see that.
Aye.
That's him and his girlfriend.
Let me open up, open up.
No worries. I'll try and see if I got more here.
Show and folder.
Yeah. Does it go through?
Yeah, it's just being
It's just being slow.
it's being very special.
That might help for you to see who you're talking to over in spirit world there.
Yeah. Cuz he was like jumping. Yeah, well, he didn't even really want to show me what he really looked like.
Mm.
Huh.
If you can't see it, I'll email it to you.
No, I can see it.
Perfect.
He's got longer hair than his curly-headed girlfriend.
Yes, he does. He liked
Oh
his
my
long
goodness.
hair. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Okay. So,
Or I'll send you one like when he went there and he didn't have quite a beard just yet. He got really scruffy after working in the landscaping job with the other guys and stuff. But he went there totally innocent like that with her. He went out to BC. He moved too far away from me. So
yeah,
I
that's a
would have
little.
seen it and it would have never happened, but yeah.
Oh my goodness, without the beard.
Yeah. He's pretty cute under all that hair. Yeah.
Oh, he had the sweetest eyes.
The green eyes, yeah. Those are my eyes. He stole them. I always told him that.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now that girlfriend. Mm.
He told me that before through another medium too.
Yeah.
Self-medicating. There's nothing I can really do, like
No.
nothing I can do. She's
And
got to
that's
meet somebody, I think, just to like kind of snap out of that, maybe a
she
distraction.
won't. She's
No,
stuck in that environment. She's not going anywhere yet.
no, not yet. Mm.
Wow. Okay.
So you recorded this.
Yes.
Cool.
He kind of kept his place a little messy, eh? Just a
That
little.
his
He
play?
kept his place. Yeah, he kept his apartment a little on the messy side, but I guess that's normal for kids
It
his age.
was dusty with spider webs. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was organized. Just he wasn't cleaning like behind the plants and stuff like that. It was kind of gross. And the bathtub was kind of gross. Hair in the drain, hair in the like hair beside the toilet and stuff from his brush. Just kind of gross guy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not too
Just
bad.
a just a regular.
Yeah. He had
But
the dishes
like
done. Dishes were done and everything.
it's funny because it's really honestly too bad because he was
Yeah.
like that shirt off his back kind of guy.
Yep. He'd do anything for anybody.
And sentimental, like
Very.
fuck.
Yeah. He was pretty soft.
Yeah.
Very, very soft. He struggled with depression because she went to Peru. She likes to travel, and her parents pay for it and everything. And he didn't want to leave his job and have her parents pay for him because he wasn't raised like that. So once she left, that's when it started, that depression. And I think he started drinking even more.
It feels like he had some heart stuff that was going on top of like the liver stuff. It also feels like there's issues with the jaw. So I don't know
Hmm.
if he just
He had scarring on his heart, but alcohol
okay.
usually causes that. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's,
But he has said that before. Something about the heart. Like a, what do you call it? The rhythm was
oh, like yeah, like some sort of arrhythmia.
arrhythmia, yeah.
Okay. Lizzie's still here.
He's always here. He does a lot of stuff in this house to make his
To
spirit
make
known.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you started doing just like photos and like really zooming them up yet?
Have I started doing that? Oh
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Have you start like because He makes me feel as though you might find him like peeking through a window or something like that in
Actually, I can show
one of
you.
your photos.
I'll show it to you before I let you go. Photos. We got a whole album called Weird. Because things kept happening where the hubby would hear the fridge door opening and closing. And he was giving, like, I had three boys, so I also have an 18-year-old. And the hubby was giving him crap for opening and
Okay.
closing the fridge door at night. And Tyne's looking at him like, I wasn't opening any fridge door. So it's happened 3 or 4 times to the point where he's looking at me like I must be going crazy. I said, you know what? Let's put a camera here and see what the heck's going on. So we started capturing some pretty cool stuff in the camera. And now we're fully aware that he's around here. Send you this picture. And the one I sent you, he's in the mirror. This is at Easter time. His face is clear as day and he's wearing a hoodie. And all I did was take pictures and zoom in. That's all I did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all you have to do. It's like the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, oh, why does it, I gotta open it better. Show folder, come on.
I have send you this one.
Yep.
I'll send you a video of my hubby telling me that the guitar strap or cord is moving in his room. So I said, record it. And here's the recording. And at the end, the guitar pick flies off of the guitar. There's nobody there.
That's incredible. Honest to God, that is amazing.
And the dog knew that somebody was there right before it because I have a picture of her staring at the wall. If I can find that one. Where did I put that? Diva. Whoops. Yeah, there's a picture of her just staring at the wall.
Okay, that video is flipping awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so one more thing you might want to try if you haven't done it already is when you're totally alone at home, just call him in. If you feel him in the space with you,
Yeah.
hit record on your phone just for the audio.
Okay.
Ask him a question. Give it a little bit of a space. Ask something else, and then play it back and see if you hear anything.
Yeah, there was one time I was laying in my bed and I heard right close to my ear, I heard, hey, and it made me jump like this. So I just kind of like, okay, what was that? Lay down. And then I hear a cat meowing so loud that I had to look down on the floor and I'm looking for it. Like, what the heck is going on? And he's told me like he's with his cat. They've picked up his cat Bo. And that cat has been here a few times where I've heard somebody coming through the front door. I've got the front door open. I can hear the doorknob going. And I look, and obviously nobody's there, but then I hear the cat again.
Oh my
Like running
God.
up the hallway, and it's like he's coming in with his cat. I just can't see them.
That is fantastic. That is very cool. Like very, very cool. I mean, it'd be better if he was like actually physically here, but
Of course. And I always say that, but I've done so much research I would have never done if had it not happened. So I collect it all and I'll probably create a video or something of everything that happens here, just to make people aware that they're not really gone.
Yeah.
I sent you a video that happened in his very first girlfriend's home, because they're still in love with each other. And she felt someone come in, and it freaked her out, and she's looking all over for it. And then she finally sees it sitting on the bench, and she recorded it because she had her phone in her hand. And she only did that because I told her to do that, because prior she had felt someone behind her. The hair went up on her back, but she screamed and ran away. I said, don't do that. It's just Kaden. Just relax and take out your phone and record it. And she actually got it. When you open that up, you'll see a shadow sitting there moving. And if you look at the blanket, you can see that there's legs there because the blanket's grooved.
Yeah.
And when he leaves, she sent me a picture of when he left. That blanket's flat. So he's left. Let's see if I can find that one.
That's wild. That is absolutely wild.
Yeah, I'll send you that one where.
He
And I
has
didn't
so
even
much
notice.
energy.
Yeah, I do. I've got lots. I didn't even notice this. My hubby noticed this one. Now I gotta find it. Where did it go? Right there. He illustrates how, where the shadow's sitting, you can see that the blanket has two grooves where the legs would be. And then after he leaves, she takes a picture and the blanket's flat.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is it ever?
Mm-hmm. And she said that she could hear him breathing, even though they don't breathe. She heard breathing. But she
Well, it's
turned the
all
sound off because she was crying, so she didn't want us to hear her crying.
it's all cloaking information, right? So they don't need to breathe, but they're going to give you that feeling. So,
Yeah.
because it would be weird for us to see someone and not hear them breathe.
Yeah. Just try not to scare her. But he was watching her with her two babies. And she named one of her babies. Well, she gave baby his middle name, so it's Asher Caden. Yeah. She honored him that way, and her husband was okay with it. Well, maybe he wasn't okay with it, but she did it anyways.
I mean, he's her husband now. So, like, I mean, there is no competition. Like, what does it matter?
Because she still loves him, right? So he gets jealous of that. But I told her, tell him that love never dies. So if you were in love with him at some point, it didn't work out, but it's still there. It's like loving your best friend.
Yeah.
And she told him that, and he was fine. Like, oh, best friend makes sense. But if you still love him, then how could you love me? I think that was what was going through his mind.
Ah, okay.
He actually fought with her about how she reacted when Caden died, because she cried a lot, right? In total shock. Because she'd just seen him. And he was holding her child and everything. And then whoosh, he's gone. Yeah.
And
And her
hers,
hubby started a fight about that.
I'm still going through these before and after photos. Like, that's so wild.
I've got more stuff. Let me see if I have it on my computer. I have a pretty wild one where there's this insane amount of light moving through my kitchen. And the camera picks it up. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. And something is moving through my kitchen. See that?
Um,
And then if you look at it, there's something behind that light because it's blocking out my stove and my cupboards
yeah.
and my window. So it's really tall, whatever it is.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, where's that one where there's he keeps giving us quite a bit of evidence, and I keep telling him to do it because I will share it with people, right? Like, where did that go? This one. I just have to figure out how I'm going to put all this information together, but eventually I will.
Huh.
So this one I sent you just now, if you look over to the left, you'll see not a shadow, but some kind of a figure there with, you can see the head and the nose.
Okay. So
And it is at 9 o'clock at night. So my camera will go off if it senses a human. Yeah, seriously, it won't pick up bugs or anything. Or even pets. It just picks up humans. And you can see in the second one I'm in it at 9:07:38 p.m. I'm in the video. I go upstairs and at 9:08:06 p.m. he is standing right beside my fridge. If you can see it. You kind of got to zoom in.
So 9. Okay, so I've got 907 and 908, and there's someone in the kitchen in 908.
Yep, right beside the fridge. Look on the cupboard doors. There's a head and a nose there.
The shadow is what you're referring to?
Yeah. And if you zoom into that, if you're able to zoom into that, it's not a shadow because he's blocking out my coffee maker. It's some kind of a being. It's not a shadow. And he appears there right after I go upstairs.
Huh.
Yeah, there's some wild stuff. And apparently he told me it's gonna get more elaborate. So I'm like,
Because you're picking up what he's dropping, so yeah,
bring
that's
it
the way it
on.
works.
Bring it on. Yeah, for sure.
That's really cool. Maybe he. Is there something on your fridge as well? In the one that he's in?
Paper. There's
Above
paper.
the paper, it almost looks like a smudgy, but it looks kind of like a face,
Oh, I can't
like
see
between
that.
the two doors.
I'd have to, how do I zoom? Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, it's smudged. What is that?
It looks like another face.
Oh, I see it. I don't know what that is.
Because it doesn't look like paper. It looks like it goes between the crease of the two doors.
Yeah. Looks like Jesus.
It looks like something, all right.
Like a beard,
Yeah.
nose, and then it looks like something around his head. To me, anyways.
Or it could just be like bangs or like a curl to the hair or something, right? Like just anything that
It
adds
is.
a little volume.
I do see curl. Huh. Never saw that. See, it's helpful to show people because sometimes the camera will take a picture and tell me someone's there and I don't see anything at all. So I'll send it to my hubby. Like, do you see anything? Because my eyeballs aren't picking it up. And he will.
Oftentimes, especially when you get one that's this clear,
Yeah.
you will have more than one in the photo.
Yeah.
You just need to zoom and look. And yeah, I would
Yeah.
definitely say there's something else there. And it's not the cat.
No, it's not the cat. I haven't seen the cat yet. In the one of him in the mirror, his dad is in that too. He's really small though. It's a white beard and sunglasses. Maybe I can mark it for you if you can't find it. Of course, the thing freezes on me.
Well, yeah, like,
Document.
it's the way it works, isn't it?
Yep. Cancel. Delete copy. There. Oh yeah, it's not gonna let me edit that one. Facebook, where did you go?
This is very cool.
The next time I see you, I will probably want to know, like, because I've talked to him a few times. Where the heck is my circle thing? Squares? There it is. Kind of want to know, like, what his environment is like now. If he'll tell you that information.
So that is always the fun part. I think part of it too is that we can't comprehend some of what they want us to know.
Makes sense.
But before, during the reading, he was just showing the colors were a lot more vivid. So
I've heard that.
And his energy is like, it's funny that he's here so much. Like, he's here so much like an earthbound, but he's not earthbound.
Yeah, I know. I do know that.
And he's not in some sort of like middle vibration. Like, he is definitely like crossed over to where we want people to cross over. And he's shown the bright colors and the weird colors in nature.
Colors we don't have.
Like the way he's almost expressing it like you know, a children's book where like a Dr. Seuss, where it's kind of like wild colored.
Yeah.
And just the image that I'm being shown right now is just like wild colored, but also the temperature just feels right.
That's
For whatever
good.
reason, the temperature needs to be brought up.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't feel like he spends much time there,
No,
if
he's
any
here.
time there.
Oh,
Yeah.
he is like, yeah, he is here a lot. Not just
This
with
is like,
me, but my brother, um, I don't know about his friends. They don't really talk about it other than Emily, his very first girlfriend. My nephew has seen him. My brother has seen him. I haven't. I haven't seen him. I've just felt him behind me. And when I was in his apartment, I saw like a black line moving by me. You know when you feel like somebody's there watching
yeah.
you and you'll turn
Hmm.
around like so I actually felt I was in the bathroom and I felt somebody there. I thought it was my hubby. So I started talking to him. He didn't answer me, so I turned around, nobody's there. I walk in the living room. He's like laying on the couch, nearly half asleep. I said, "Did you just come up to the bathroom to talk to me?" He's like, "No, I'm watching TV." And as I walk back to the bathroom, I see this black line go around me. Literally, it was moving. I'm not crazy. And I spoke to a medium after that, and he said, "You recently had an experience with your son where you knew it was him." Like, yeah, because who the heck else? Like, what was that? That was in his apartment. So he confirmed it for me, right? That, yes, mom, that was me.
It's almost like he's looking at being here now as part of the work that he's doing
Yeah.
or the work that he needs to do.
Yeah.
So again, I'm going to say it's by choice. So don't think that he's like stuck here in any way or that he feels obligated. It feels like he's choosing and choosing it as
Yeah.
like importance and important work.
It is
Um,
important work. Yeah.
and it's almost like he's already gained some clarity on what happened in his life.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like he had like a theme of why is this screwed up shit happening to me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just feels so not just that end portion of his life, but
Yeah.
it just feels as though there were throughout his life, like childhood and everything, just weird
Yeah.
shit that wasn't good that would happen to
Yeah.
him. Like it's kind of like that unlucky number. Um,
Yeah.
and a feeling of um, because unlucky shit would happen to him, there's almost like a feeling of loneliness or isolation that he experienced several times
Mm-hmm.
in life. Some being almost feeling like being ostracized um, as well. And
Like being what? You broke up.
like it
Oh,
feels almost
ostracized.
ostracized. It feels as though like bad shit was kind of like when the kids have the cheese touch in like Diary of a Wimpy Kid and everybody
Yeah.
avoids them. It's like he
Right.
felt like he had that
Right.
from periods, like just periods of it.
Yeah.
Um, and like moments of just feeling like he was cursed, like just
Yeah. And he never talked about his feelings.
yeah.
Around me, he always maintained that very sweet, innocent, childlike personality. I didn't even know he was experiencing any of that, which I wish he'd told me, but he kept everything to himself.
But it's like he's just one of those souls that feels older.
Oh
He
yeah.
could handle a lot more than the
Yeah.
average individual.
True.
Yeah, and he was ticklish.
Very
Why?
ticklish.
Why are we talking about that?
Because he always used to say tickles, Nana, tickles.
Okay.
That's funny.
Like there are just moments where I wonder
They
what is
just
going
throw
on.
stuff in, eh?
I just
Yeah.
throw stuff in,
Yeah.
like Cookie Monster and stuff, right? It just feels as though he
Yeah.
had a fun personality.
Oh
He
yeah.
was just
Yeah, and he did kind of have a curse because, well, I can see how he felt like that. He was a very good-looking young man. All the girls wanted him. He actually kind of had everything. But his dad died. First of all, we moved to Brazil with his dad. And after 3 years, I came back with Caden, and his dad stayed there and never came back. So there's the first trauma. His dad did not come back to Canada. And then his father passed away in May 2014, also from alcoholism. 44 years old, had 2 heart attacks. No, sorry, 3 heart attacks. And that was not expected at all. Even though he drank, we just weren't thinking it, you know? And his dad was a very good person too. Very soft, very kind, but just I would tell Caden he's sick. He has an addiction. It's taking over who he really is. And I don't think a young mind can really understand that. So
no.
he resented his dad for that. And I think he even resented me a little bit for leaving his dad or coming back here. But I had to because I needed help with I was like 24 years old with a 1-year-old.
Oh
I
my God.
needed a babysitter, right? So I could work. My mom kept bugging me to come home too because she wanted her grandson, her first grandson. So that was the first or the 2 major events with his dad. And then the love of his life, Emily, she broke up with him to be with other guys. Like they met when they were probably 10, 11 years old. Yeah, way too young. Way,
Yeah.
way, way. But they stayed together until they were 16. Like I watched her grow up. She's like a daughter to me. She had no boobs when I met her, and she turned into this beautiful young lady, right? At age 16. And I kind of tried to prep them both for that because I would say, you know, you're going to get to this age where you're going to be curious about other people. You guys were way too young, and it happened. That crushed him. He put holes in my wall over that. He broke my cupboard doors. And I had just painted the house. And I didn't get mad at him because I understood that pain. Like I totally understood that pain. Yeah. But I knew it was going to happen. He just didn't. So that crushed him. He met another girl who she was really sweet too. This is the one that is self-medicating now, the one in that picture. She's really sweet and everything, but I think she had more of a liking towards girls. So they were more like brother and sister type thing. They definitely loved each other. There's no question. The love is there. But it was hard for him. He even told me when he was here, like, we have sex every 9 months, if that. Like, okay. Thanks for telling me that.
And are they 20 or 65? Like, oh my God.
Yeah. So every 9 months, he that was really tough for him. I think when she went to Peru, he kind of maybe wanted to be alone because he could have gone with her because he wasn't getting what he needed there. So I just don't think he realized how bad it is to be alone, alone, alone. It's not good for anybody. Tried to tell him that. Like, you'll drink more because you're bored. There's nobody there. There's no animal there. There's nothing. It's just you and the TV. It's not good at all. So when she left to Peru, I think that kind of affected him too. So he had the loss of his dad twice, then Emily, then Sarah, and he just crashed. Like, that was too much. And he got caught for a DUI as well. And I think that really bothered him. He could see the road he was going down, the wrong road, which made him even more depressed because he knew he was better than that. He knew that he was more than that.
Oh my God.
I could see it in his notes from what he was. They made him take a course and everything, drinking and driving, and I could see all of his notes. But once the alcohol gets you, sometimes you cannot get away fast enough, I guess. Like, this is a first for me. I have painkillers and alcohol. That is a very, very first, and I'm 46 years old. Like you said, most of the time they'll live at least 10 years before they have to, get off the alcohol. Sometimes longer. My hubby has an aunt, and she's probably 75, and she still drinks from morning to night, and I don't know how she's alive.
Yeah.
It's been like 30 years. I don't know how she's walking.
Yeah.
And you kind of think, well, that's so unfair. But yeah.
It's something
Yep.
you don't hear on.
No, you don't hear often. Liver cirrhosis in a 23-year-old. Severe. So even if he had, because I've asked him in my mind, like, why didn't you come back? I know that sometimes you can come back. It sounds like he did come back. And I kind of figured it would have been like he would give me visuals in my mind. I'm an empath too, so I get the visuals. And if he had been brought back, his eyes were like extremely yellow, really, really yellow. And he would have probably been in a coma for a while. And he would have needed a liver transplant. And let's say he got that, his life wouldn't be the same, and he probably would have just ended himself after that anyways. So he chose not to come back. Because I would have had to go through that with him, right? That would have prolonged my suffering for at least 2 or 3 years more. So that's the visual I got from him. Sometimes I don't know if it's just me thinking it or if he's giving it to me, but it pops into my head.
If it's popping into your head, that's mediumship.
Yeah.
Yeah, those popping in feelings and pictures and all of that, that's mediumship or empaths, both.
And it's funny you said that he was holding my hand because when his friend found him and told me he was dead, I could see him dead. I never did see it, but I could see him in my mind, and he was sitting on the couch and his head was down like this. And he just looked like he was sleeping, but he was all swollen. There was a rash and everything on his body. And it took me months to get that image out of my head. Like, just turn it off. I don't want to see it anymore. But I've been told that I was there before with him as he went. Yeah. I don't remember that. I just remember seeing him dead. And his best friend found him, his best friend from the same age, like 10 years old, went and found him for me because Caden wasn't answering his phone. He was supposed to do a Zoom to open his presents. He doesn't miss stuff like that. Ever. So he's not answering. And I said, Brady, can you go over and check and see if he's all right? Because, like, I had the image of him dead in his sleep. So that just got me going. He went over, knocked on the door. No one answered. He's like, his truck's here. So maybe he went for a walk or something. Or maybe he just wants alone time. I'm like, no. No. Not on Christmas Day. Right? So I said, can you go back a little bit later? And he's like, yeah, I'll go back a little bit later. Not really taking it seriously. So he didn't go back a little bit later. In the morning, I still did not have any texts or anything from Caden. So now it's getting, yeah. So I call him up again. And then I actually called Sarah too. She was wherever she was. I don't know. I messaged her in Messenger and I said, he's not answering his phone. What should I do? And she's like, well, there's a window open on the other side of the house. Tell Brady to go in that window. So I called Brady up. Can you go in through the window and let me know if he's in there or what's going on? And half an hour later, he sent me a message and said, I think he's dead. And my heart just went like, fuck. I already knew it. But I was like, I'm hoping that I'm just being paranoid. But I already knew it. Yeah. And it's like, ugh. Yeah. And that poor kid had to see his best friend dead. Also 23 years old.
Yikes.
And that will affect him for the rest of his life. But he looks like he's doing okay now. He met a girl, so that's totally distracting him. He's in love with this girl, and I'm so happy to see that. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's what you need sometimes.
That's what I think Sarah needs. Like, she just needs... I almost feel like someone sent this girl to Brady because he's been single for so long. I've never seen him have a girlfriend ever. He's 23. He's good looking, but he's just like kind of one of those surfer guys, you know? Like, hey, dude.
Oh.
What's going on, man? Yeah. One of those guys. So, yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow.
I'm making you say wow.
Yeah.
The other way around.
Yeah. Well, this is my first liver cirrhosis as
Yeah.
a 23-year-old.
Yep. That's true.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And he's so spiritually active.
Yep. There's more coming.
There's a lot more coming.
I will continue. Like, I just bought 2 more cameras. So what I have is like 2 stationary cameras. They don't move. They just sit there. And I bought a rotating one that goes like that and follows. I put it in my room and picked up some things that the stationary camera didn't pick up. So now I'm putting 2 of them where the activity is. And I literally have a video of him as a ball of light moving with my camera. Like, the camera's following him in the garage, and he comes right up to the camera like this stares at the camera, goes back. But the stationary cameras can't pick that up. They don't record video. So now I get
Okay.
pictures and I get video. I just, I can't send you that one because it's not on my computer. I have to email it to you.
Just blow up the anything orb. Blow it up because sometimes you get faces and orbs.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because all I see is just a circle of light.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just circle and light, but other times there have been some really beautiful cases of
faces.
Incredibly detailed faces inside of orbs.
Yeah, the last picture I sent you is like light moving through my kitchen. It's just like a white line, right? But it's moving. That's why it's a line.
Yeah.
That's my stationary camera. So I'll send you a video of that where you see it come and look up at the camera and move back. And you're like, that's got to be a bug or something, you know? Like, what the hell is that? It's freaky.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. I mean, I wish it was different circumstances, but still.
Well, he's making it very cool. Oh, and the other thing too was yesterday, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, I was leaving and my hubby comes upstairs with a red face and he goes, "My Alexa just went off and is playing this song and I recorded it." And here it is. And he's literally laying in his bed like nearly asleep and the music's blaring. He's got his TV on. He said when he got up to walk over to it, it turned off and his camera on his phone turned off. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. So he took a picture of the Alexa and it's unplugged. It's dusty. It's got no power to it at all.
Oh my gosh.
And it's not the first time. He just got it on camera this time. There was another time where it just all of a sudden said, "The door is open." And he was doing Lego at the desk. And he's like, "Jesus Christ." Like he literally thought he was going crazy. So much so that he had to tell his nurse at work, like, "I'm hearing things and I'm seeing things." But he had evidence, he had proof. So he's like, "Can you see that? Do you see that?" And she's like, "Yeah, I see that." "You're not seeing things. I can see that."
Oh my gosh.
What was the other time? It said the door is open and something else now. I forget, but when I remember, I'll tell you what it was. Something weird. And he said that he had closed the door, but when he looked, it was open. So Caden really messes with us a lot. My husband's a bit of an empath too, so he'll hear voices sometimes. And he heard the word volt. He didn't understand what that meant. I'm like, well, volt is energy battery. Something about power. He probably needs power to manifest or do things. So my truck suddenly starts dying. Yeah. I go out in the morning, it won't start. It won't even make a noise. Like it's totally dead. So I take it in, I replace the battery. Everything's fine for a little while, and then it's dead again. On and off, not consistently. On and off. So I take it back and I say it's still dying, and they check everything and they say, "Are you sure your house isn't haunted?" Like, what did you just say? I didn't say anything, right? Not going to say anything because I don't want them to get sad and all that stuff. But so I come back with this. They gave me another new battery. They replaced the new battery with a new battery. And
Oh my God.
it's fine for a while because I said in my head, "Caden, if you're using my power, you need to like space it out so that I'm not, going to the shop all the time." So 2 or 3 months goes by and then it starts doing it again. Like, oh my God. And that, when it was doing it again, that is when you got the shadow video there and the guitar pick video. That day he did that.
That guitar pick video, my God.
Isn't that awesome?
It's absolutely
Like
stunning.
what?
Stunning. It's like perfection
It
for a
is
ghost video. Like
perfection.
it's perfection.
Because my hubby, if you listen to him, he's like totally focused on the chord. He's like, the chord's moving. And then that happens and he's like, oh shit.
Yeah. It's good. It is perfection in a video. It is fantastic.
That's what my 9-year-old said too. He's like, I didn't really believe in this before, Mom, but now I believe in it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Okay, my dear. I am going to have to let you go because
No
it's
worries.
lunchtime.
You went way over your time. You don't have to do that, but if you're learning stuff, it's good.
I love all of this manifestation of spirit stuff. It is
Mind-blowing.
incredible physical evidence. Like doing a mediumship reading,
Yep.
that's great. But then when you also have like physical evidence,
Yeah.
that just adds so much to it. That is incredible.
Does. It does. It takes like the second guessing away.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he just wants me to know that he is definitely there. Like he feels bad. For sure.
Yeah.
Didn't want to hurt Mom. But
No.
shit happens.
He couldn't do that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But he also didn't see
Didn't see it coming. Yeah.
Didn't see it coming. Didn't see the trees from the forest. It was.
Mm-hmm.
He was in a spot.
Yep.
And honestly, who would 23-year-olds drink all the time?
They do.
Like all the time.
I did. Yeah.
It's a sport. It's a sport. I mean, I've like college, university kids.
Oh yeah.
God, they're drunk before, orientation week.
Yep.
And they're drunk the entire 4-year course. So
Exactly.
this is not typical. You would normally think that this is.
Yeah. He was experimenting and he got hooked. I tried to tell him, when he was younger, your dad drank and he died from alcoholism, so it's best if you don't do it. What does he do? Well, he said he felt like if he didn't, he wouldn't fit in at work and he'd get rejected. It's like, ugh, who cares about them, right? But when you're that age, you care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you get older, that's when you learn if you feel that way, you just start mixing your own drinks until they're just juice or pop.
Exactly. Or find another job.
Yeah, find another job, find different people to hang out with.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
He wasn't able to see that yet. That's just too bad.
He needed more time.
Yeah. He did.
So how do I pay you? Do you PayPal or?
E-transfer or PayPal.
You want PayPal? Do I have an email?
Or e-transfer, whatever you want. It's mediumyolanta@gmail.com. I can email that to you if you like.
Yeah, if you can email, and then I'll respond with that video of the light. Maybe you'll see a face that I didn't see.
Oh, I hope so. It's
Me
honestly
too.
like it's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
My boyfriend's sister-in-law, she showed me a picture. Oh my, the most gorgeous picture. She's like, yeah, my friend's neighbor, like across the street neighbor, lives in a notoriously haunted house. So she
Oh,
went outside one day and just snapped a picture of the across the street neighbor in her house coat answering the door because she thought it would be funny to
right.
show her later.
Mm,
And she's like, and now look at the person that is in the window. It's like a
hmm.
Victorian woman in the window, and you could see her face, her hair, like the dress, everything. I said, well, what about the guy that's standing right behind her? Well, have you guys not seen this yet? And she's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
you could see the wrinkles in his face and everything. Like there were multiple spirit people in this picture. And
Wow.
sometimes you have to look at them a couple times to
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
all of them. And it's incredible. It's absolutely just incredible.
Yeah.
I love it. I
Leave
love
us
it.
like these little breadcrumbs that you
Yeah.
got to go around and find and then put them all together. And yeah. But Caden is
And
very blunt sometimes. Like, I'll send you the video of Alexa going off. You'll see my husband's face. It's just like,
okay.
yeah,
Love it. Love it. Love it.
it'll make you laugh for sure.
Okay.
Awesome. And then you'll send me
Awesome.
this recording?
I will. I will
Okay,
do
cool.
that once Zoom sends it to me.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome.
Have
Okay.
a good week.
Bye. Yes, you too. Bye.
Bye.